Hi, everybody. Welcome. How are you guys doing today? All right. So welcome to FORUNITY TV episode 2. So let's take a quick moment here and share the video. So you ladies, roundtable, everybody here, let's go around and just quickly share the video. So I'm going to pin this on the top. So if you go to the FORUNITY page, you guys will see it. And then you can go ahead and share. I pinned the wrong video. I pinned episode 2. Sorry. Episode 1, sorry. All right, we're excited. It is Sunday night, and we're really excited to be with you guys here tonight. My name is Kenise, and I will be your host tonight. All right, so did we get everybody? All right. Do you guys see the video?
Yep.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm hitting the wrong one. Go ahead. All right, there you go. Sorry. All right. Oh, all right. Yes. Okay, good. So let's share. Did you guys share already as well?
Yep.
All right, you guys are fast. All right, so as we go around the room, again, welcome everybody to FORUNITY TV episode 2. I just want to give you guys like a quick background. How come we're doing this? How did FORUNITY TV come about? So really quickly, I can't believe it's been only 2 months, but in July of 2020, we released a 6-hour love-a-thon called One Voice, One Heart, One Nation Under God, where we talked about unity, love, and we talked about harmony and peace as a nation. And we had so many amazing individuals on that love-a-thon. So I'm really excited that from that love-a-thon, the group decided to do a roundtable going forward until our next love-a-thon, which will be next year, 2021. So as you guys are coming in, share quickly the video, like us on our Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and of course, you can follow us on Instagram. Tonight, our topic for episode 2 is Be the Change. So before we kick off on this amazing topic, I want to go around the table and ask everyone to introduce themselves, and they're also going to be sharing their favorite quote about being the change or affecting change or something to do with change of something. So let's kick it off. So Peggy, you're the first one on my screen. So you want to go first?
Cool. Okay, so hi, I'm Portia. And my quote for this topic is, I alone cannot change the world, but I can cast a stone across the waters to create many ripples.
Ooh, very nice. All right. And what does that mean to you?
Well, it just means that it takes more than one person, but just having the idea and just doing as much as I can along with others, that's not only is not enough, but it's just a start.
Good. All right. So then next on my screen, we have Vanessa and Iris.
Hi guys, my name is Iris, and my quote is, change your thoughts and you change your world. So it honestly does go along with Portia's. If you want to see change, you gotta start that ripple. You gotta be the one that starts it.
The little stone.
Yep.
Mine comes from a famous comedian, and she said, Carol Burnett, she said, only I can change my life. No one can do it for me. And that is that's my mantra without even knowing that she said this. But that's true of anything in our lives. Only you have the power to change you. And in changing you, things around you begin to change. That's why I chose that one.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Welcome to the roundtable. Then we have Alicia and Anissa here tonight.
Hi guys, I'm Anissa, and my quote for tonight is, the world as we have created it is a process of our thinking. It cannot be changed without changing our thinking, and that is by Albert Einstein. And it is so powerful because change doesn't come about without us changing our perspective and our point of view on certain things. So in order for us to have change, we must first change our own thinking. What about you?
Hi, good night everyone. My name is Alicia. My quote tonight is by Mandy Holly. Change is painful, but not as painful as sticking. I'm sorry. Let me start over. Change is painful, but nothing is as painful as staying stuck somewhere where you don't belong. For me, that is like my sister will tell me I like to hold on to sentimental stuff. So making change can be painful, even as letting go of things can be painful. And you don't want to be stuck somewhere. You want to progress in certain things. So for me, that the change can be painful, and I guess that relates to me as well.
All right, thanks, guys. Welcome to the round table. And then we have Samantha.
Hello, I'm Samantha. I actually have the same quote as Portia, so I'm gonna say it again. I alone cannot change the world, but I can cast a stone across the waters to create many ripples by Mother Teresa. So I think this quote is really important, especially as a young person. Like, you tend to think like, I can't do anything, like as much as I want change, it's not like I don't have enough power, or like I'm not in a good position to do something. But I think just one small act of starting something is enough to make change, like in generations to come. Like, you may not be able to see the change that you made, but eventually you might be able to.
Okay, all right. And last but not least, around our round table is Emily.
Hi guys, good night. I'm Emily. My quote is, change will not come if we wait for some other person or some other time. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the change we seek. And that was said by Barack Obama. And that's something I completely agree with. Just like Sam said, like, we're the ones who need to start the change. If we want to change the world around us, it starts with us. We can't expect other people to change. We need to be the ones to make the difference, because if we don't, who will?
All right, I love that. Said by a true future DA. You all have to be nice to Emily. She's going to be a future district attorney for New York shortly, soon. All right. So yes. So ladies and gentlemen, that's our topic tonight for the FORUNITY TV. We're going to be talking about being the change. Each one of us, and two of you guys talked about Mother Teresa. And I have to say, Mother Teresa was a nun, right? She was this little old lady. She wasn't old all of her life, but she was this little old woman, or this woman who went about and did change. And did she really think that she was going to really affect the world to the point where she has her quote twice on this episode here tonight on September 27, 2020? I mean, I don't know her lifeline. I don't, maybe somebody can pull it up and just, when did she pass away? How long did she live? But it's like, isn't that amazing that a woman who didn't even think she was affecting and bringing change to the world, that she's being quoted tonight? Like, what do you guys think about? I mean, this is kind of diversing a little bit, but what do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I think that has to tie in with what I said earlier. Like, she definitely started doing the stuff she was doing out of the goodness of her own heart. It was like, this is something that I want to do. This is something I need to do. And like, it just rippled. Like, whatever she was sowing, whatever she was doing, just eventually turned into the point where people are now quoting her. People use her as references, as guidances. And like, she definitely did not intend for all of this to happen, but it was that first stone that she cast that created like what we're doing today too.
Do you think, like, when people want to affect change, that it's something that they announce to the world, or is it better something that you just do and don't even talk about it?
I think change is best when it's actions. Like, you don't want to tell people that you're going to change and then your actions don't show that. Change is best affected by you showing something different. Like, that's the whole point of change, being different, showing that you're different in this world full of chaos, in this world full of hatred, showing love, showing compassion. And that's what change is all about.
I love it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Mother Teresa, when she started her ministry, and it was definitely a ministry, she was focused on these people as individuals. She had besides us quoting her or the world quoting her, her life has become legacy. What she's done has become a precedent for others to now follow, to do excellent. This is the standard that she set by just focusing on one child, by just focusing on one beggar. She touched the people that everyone else turned away from and didn't even think that they were worthy enough to breathe the air that they were breathing. And she went after that. She was shunned. She was thrown away with those people. And by being that small pebble, she caused a ripple that will forever surpass her lifetime, my lifetime, her lifetime, for generations to come. And that's pretty much the whole situation when we talk about change. Change has to come from within, and it has to be something that you can actually do. It's nothing that someone else needs to do. It's what you need to do, what I need to do within the sphere that we are currently, circling.
And to put in perspective how long her legacy has been following us, she was born in 1910.
Yes.
And she passed away in 1997. That's when I was born.
Yeah.
You're old. She was 87 years old. She was on this earth for 87 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I pray, I mean, we're just using that because two of the girls around the round table brought up that quote. So there's a significance to it that is definitely out there. If you Google change quotes or be the change quotes, I'm sure hers is definitely in the top 20. So life teaches us that change is inevitable. And you guys will all have a chance to, as we go around the table, to talk about how you want to affect change or have you affected change in the past. So we're really excited to share that with you guys who are listening tonight. So like Vanny said, change is constantly happening. If you don't keep up with different changes, it's really hard for you to make it and you become frustrated. So for instance, now with COVID, especially parents who are not computer savvy or electronic savvy, they're having a very difficult time if they don't know how to use Zoom and not keeping up with the times. They're having a very difficult time because change is constant. Some slowly, others almost instantaneously, but change is usually a response to itself. It's a kind of a chain reaction. And in our society, we're constantly changing, something that I think is great, but it's also something that's not good. Like every day you get brand new news reports, and then tomorrow it's a whole new brand new news reports. And then I'm like, but what happened to yesterday? Did they ever find the killer? Did they ever find a little girl that was abducted? Because constantly it's changing. So change is good and also change is bad. But tonight we're talking about the positive change within people's lives and how you and us, we can affect change. So we're going to go around the round table. And what we're talking about at this table is what would be something you would want to see changed in your world or in your society, and how you could be an advocate for that change to either start it, implement it, or even just to raise awareness. So let's start out with Annie. Annie, why don't you go first? What would be something that you would like to see changed in your environment?
Well, to start off, there's a lot of things that needs to be changed in our society, but one thing for me is, being a young woman, is the way that we look at a woman being beautiful. It's that image in our heads that you have to be a size 0, you have to be fair skin, and there's all of these qualities of what society think is beautiful. So I think my change would be to change that. That is something I want to change, especially for young girls growing up, flipping through magazines or out there in the media world. It's this sculpture of what beautiful is, and that's not reality. I don't think it will ever be reality, because not everybody can be a size 0, not everybody can be a size 2, and I have never been a size 0. I will never be a size 0. So, and it's a lot of pressure for me when I was growing up, because there was this stigma of what beautiful is, and I didn't fit in, and it was a self-confidence issue. But now it's for young girls to grow up in that society. And I do have a cousin who, she doesn't feel like she's beautiful because of the way that other girls dress and the way that she dressed, because beautiful is something that we see on TV that is being painted for us. It's not who we are. So something I do want to see change in this society is what we see as beautiful and how we think of beauty and what beauty is.
And I'm just curious, just for the listeners and myself, is there something that you're thinking about possibly doing that to help either build awareness for? Because I think that is so key. you know, with everything that's going on, we tend to forget this, but image is so important. So is there anything you want to do, Annie, or are you still thinking about it?
I mean, just if there's an opportunity for young girls to see themselves, so to speak, on the mainstream. So I think if we can somehow, you know, these big companies and these big modeling companies, you know, like when you're looking for plus size clothing, for example, they consider size 12 or size 14 plus size. Like, you know, like if we change that kind of thing, and like for me, what I would like maybe, I don't know, like it may be a lot of work, but you know, like start off with talking to young girls, especially, you know, when they're like 5 years old. It's never too early. So if there was like a platform for me to use to like speak to young girls, whether it's, you know, going to their school or, you know, within our own, you know, social circles, speaking to young girls would be a great start. But it really does have a lot to do with mainstream media and how their perspective of what beauty is.
I love it. All right. Okay. Let's go to Alicia. We'll come back to you. Let's go to Emily. And Emily, you talk about what you would do to affect change. And of course, I'm sorry, if anybody has any questions for, you know, for Emily or Annie, please go ahead and ask.
Okay. So one thing that I definitely want to affect changes in is with representation. Just like Annie said, like with representation with plus size girls, I think right now a big thing in the media is immigrants. And immigrants are seen not in a good light, especially undocumented immigrants. And I feel like,
watch it. I'm an immigrant. I'm an immigrant.
exactly, that's what I'm saying. I'm a first generation American. My parents are immigrants. My grandparents are immigrants. Majority of my cousins, family, aunts, uncles, immigrants. They're not portrayed in the correct light. And I think it's just that portrayal of immigrants and that access. I feel like that's something that I would definitely want to change. Access to things that I think that immigrants don't know about. And it's hard because coming to a new country, it's difficult. Leaving your entire life behind to start over somewhere is difficult. I can't even imagine it. But I think that access, that's something that I think would definitely help undocumented immigrants and immigrants getting access to this new world that they're coming to. Like, they don't know what they're getting themselves into. So I think just changing how society views immigrants and changing how us as Americans, us as just a people, can help others, just like how we can help undocumented immigrants and immigrants.
And how do you plan on doing that? Do you have any thoughts?
Well, one thing that I am doing actually is that I want to go into law school. I want to do law. Like, that's something that I knew that I wanted to do from the beginning. And one thing that I did this summer is that I did a virtual internship with the DA's office of Manhattan. And our project for the end of the internship was to just create a proposal for what I think the office should implement. My proposal was to help raise awareness for this new legislation that was passed to help undocumented immigrants have more rights in the criminal justice system. And through that one presentation, I have the opportunity now to present my proposal to the DA of Manhattan. And I'm just so lucky for that opportunity. But it's just me as a 16-year-old, first generation American. Like, I'm making a change. Even if the DA doesn't accept my proposal, he's hearing it. I'm starting that change now, even as a 16-year-old. Age doesn't matter. Color doesn't matter. Where you come from doesn't matter. All that matters is that you want to change something, you go out and do it.
Said like a true politician, boy, I'm telling you, wow. You know, something I thought about, Emily, as you were talking about representation and access to things, you know, just something that popped into my head. I wish, and something you can probably think about as you become this, you know, this full crazy, wonderful, amazing attorney is, you know, when people come over to the United States, there should be classes for them to take that goes through like, what's a credit score and how do you get your credit going and how not to get into credit and how to buy a house and, you know, tips on finding your first job and, you know, things like that. So there should be classes done in each one of the countries that America probably does. Maybe that's something, an idea, FYI. All right. So Iris, you want to go, Iris, and share with us kind of what you would do to change?
Gotta unmute myself there. But for me personally, in my environment, I'm not in the medical field, but I am in like a secretary status, and a lot of when it comes to wanting to see being the change that we want to see, I feel like our mindset has to change, because the first thing we do, it sets off the rest of our actions. You know what I mean? So being positive in our mindset, excuse me, and always giving like the benefit of the doubt, even though when something wrong happens, you automatically want to just get frustrated and just give up. Um, that's definitely something that needs to start being implemented. Like, if you get put in this difficult situation, the first thing that you have to think of is, okay, let me slow down and really think this through. What is the best possible way that I can solve this issue while also influencing other people to do the same when they get in the situation? Because if I choose not to do that, I can get frustrated, and then that can cause somebody else to be like, oh, well, she did that, so I'm going to get frustrated. And then the whole thing is just chaos. So I think an important thing to do is really sit yourself down and take a moment to breathe and figure out what kind of mindset do you want to really radiate in your environment, whether it be your workplace, whether you want it to be in your school, or just with friends at home with your family. Doing that can definitely cause somebody to say, oh, wait, Iris this other day did something that really worked out for her, instead of causing her to get frustrated and just giving up. And then having that, like how Portia and Sam said, ripple and start to become something that changes everybody. It's definitely something serious when it comes to your mind and then your actions.
That's amazing. All right, Iris, thank you. So Portia, what about you?
Okay, hi. So the thing I wanted to talk about, a change I would love to see, deals with directly my future and my interest, which is fashion, and more particularly in sustainability. So if you didn't know, as a fashion student, it's important to me to inform about how polluting the industry can be. I know a lot of people just see the clothing and just see it on racks and, runway shows, and they don't see what really happens behind it. But a lot of fast fashion and a lot of companies use countries that aren't doing that great, and they use it to their advantage, and it's actually polluting the world that we live in, and it affects all of us. So it's actually one of the most polluting industries. So I think personally for me, I have the chance to change that, because if I want to keep doing what I love, it has to be there. The resources have to be there. I think we're all guilty of over consuming, which is where we buy things that we don't necessarily need. I mean, I'm guilty of it. I try to cut back, but it's still hard. But knowing that, the price is more than what we pay for, we have to look out for each other, even people we don't really see, which is like workers and people in the labor, child labor. And even as a college student, it's important to shop at thrift stores, stop giving thrift stores a bad name. We all donate clothes, hopefully. And if you don't donate clothes, don't throw them away, because they'll just sit in a landfill forever. Just donate them, because our garbage can be you don't know who else can use what we have. And just because you buy expensive things does not necessarily make you better. God made us all the same. So I think it's important.
Wow. So are you doing anything to raise that awareness?
Well, we talk about it in classes, and I also just once again, don't throw away your clothes in the trash, donate them. They go to, shelters, they go to people who really need it, and thrift stores also sell clothes at a lower price. So yeah.
Okay, well, maybe we should provide all of our listeners with a list of thrift stores.
That would be amazing. Yes.
Yeah.
I
would like to know. I want to go to a thrift store. I love thrift stores.
I want to go too. Let's go together.
Thank you so much, Peggy. Thank you for that. All right, so Alicia, back to you. I think you're muted.
Yes.
Okay.
Hi guys. So even back to what Annie was saying, for me, what I would want change to see is female respecting themselves. That's the change that I would want to put out there. Self-worth. I want to be able to because some girls out there, you see little girls growing up, you know, they're out there doing drugs. They don't take their education seriously. You know, they're out there, you know, and I would want to raise awareness for that, to show girls that you can be anything you put your mind to. You know, just focus on what you want and don't let anybody tell you less of what you are. You can put your mind to be anything, the same as what guys can do. We can do it better, you know. Like, I would want to raise awareness for that, teaching young girls that anything is possible. Just put your mind to it.
Have you started any type of awareness regarding that?
I haven't like really started anything, but talking to friends and family, like, you know, like wanted advice, so I can tell them, you know, give them advice on their self-worth. What, you know, don't expect this from, you know, don't expect that, you know, this is who you are. You should put yourself first. Be the person that you would want to see out there later on. You know, you don't want to put yourself down, like be up there. And like the reason why I'm saying this, guys, I remember I was in high school. My mom, they know that I love law. I wanted to be a cop, like so bad. Like I want to be a police officer. And one day I was on the train, and I was talking to this copper on the platform, and he said to me, because he heard my voice, my soft voice. He said to me, I don't see a girl like you being a cop. And I was like, why is that? He's like, oh, you're so soft spoken. And I was taken back by that. And by that, it like broke my spirit. Like, oh God, I can't do this. He said I can't. And this is from a cop. And I want to encourage girls, like, you know, don't let anybody, you know, pull you away from your dreams and your path. You know, you can do it. Put your mind to it. Don't let anybody tell you nothing. You know, you can't do this, you're a girl. You can't fire a gun, you're a girl. You can't ride a bicycle, you're a girl. Like, no, I can do it, you know, like, and I shouldn't have listened, but, you know, for a little girl, I'm like, man, maybe he's right. I can't do this. I'm a girl, you know, let's do girl stuff. Let's go in the medical field. Let's be a doctor. Let's be a nurse. That's what girls do, you know, and that's the route I took. I went into the medical field. So yeah, I want to encourage girls that don't let anybody stray you from your dream. Like Emily want to be a district, you know, she's going to be there. Like, that's what I want to see. Like, every young girl, they can be a change. Girls, female, we can empower, we can take over, we can be changed, you know? Yes.
And I think that goes back to Mother Teresa's quote, I alone cannot change the world, but I cast a stone across the waters to create many ripples. And I have one child, and you guys know when I work with our young people as well, but my one daughter, like Kamala Harris, you know, I pointed out to her, I said, remember that name, you know, I mean, whether you are a Kamala Harris fan or not, I said, just look at the fact that she is a woman of color, potentially, whether she wins to become the vice president of America in 2021, I feel like there's so much to be said for her being in that position. And I told my daughter, look at her, you can do this. You can do this. You can be a woman of color and you can do this as well. So Vanny, what would be your change?
My change would—
Your voice changing?
My voice.
Hi,
my change is actually how I can impact my current career. My current career is nursing, and I've been taken out of the like the trenches of nursing, which I totally love. I'm more on an administrative track right now. Something that I believe I can do, but I want to bleed the two together. I want administrators, I want management to understand what nurses are doing in the trenches and honor that in how they communicate with them. And so I've always, like I said, most of my career has been a nurse in the trenches. I've been on the floors. And whenever we hear about a manager or supervisor coming around the corner, everybody scatters or they hide because they feel like these people, all they come to say is, I'm hearing you, and I will definitely, you know, do so and so. But it's just like a political rhetoric, you know, just to smile with you, shake your hand, and then they're out of there, and we're still in the same situation. And so when the Lord allowed me to have this position, I realized that I could literally, within wherever I am, create that change by understanding my nurses side, the ones that are out there doing what they have to do, and then bringing myself alongside of them to actually communicate with them what management wants to, how they want to be a support to them. And I never thought of it like you said earlier in the conversation, it wasn't something I set out to do. But I realized after a few months of working that, wait a minute, I know exactly how these ladies are thinking when I talk to them. So I need to talk to them in a way that as if I were them, you know, so that they would actually receive this. And then I need to listen in a way that I would actually implement or help to implement what they were saying to show them how valuable they are. And so I started to do that and to just bring myself to that place. And I'm seeing changes. I'm seeing how well, I mean, first of all, I was brought into an environment where the nurses, they're great. They work together with the clinical staff as well as the clerical staff. They work really well together. So I commented on that several times so that they understood how valuable they are to the organization. And then by doing that, I think they were able to accept me, not as a manager or a supervisor, but as one of them. And so now we can work together to make changes across the board. So my changes it's actually happening one step at a time, you know, as usual, but it's nothing, change is nothing that's not achievable. It is achievable. You just have to set your mind to it and cast that first pebble, like you said before.
That's amazing, Vanny. So thank you again for also being an essential worker during this time as well. Don't take that for granted. Let's applaud Vanny for all the RNs and doctors and all of those wonderful medical people and the janitors who have to clean up after the doctors and nurses. We tend to forget them, and the cafeteria people in the hospital. All right, Sam, how about you?
So my change is fairly similar to Alicia's, but I would like to see change in the amount of women that are in STEM fields, more specifically engineering fields. I think with that, like, there's a lot of opportunities out there for young people to get involved and like know, especially women, like this is a field that you can do. Like I was blessed growing up to never have to hear, oh, you're a girl, you can't do this. It was more of me just being like, oh, I have to do this. So I was always doing stuff with my hands, and I never realized that like there weren't a lot of women in this field. I never realized that this was something that women were told, like, you can't do this. But I was blessed with able to find these opportunities while in high school. And I think these opportunities are something that needs to be put out more. And that's something I'd like to change, to let young women know that there are opportunities out there for you to excel. You just need to go out there and take it. So like right now, one example of what I'm doing is I'm currently working with the high school like WISE program, and we're creating a curriculum right now to teach high school women about civil engineering. That's going to start in a few weeks, I think, but that's just one change. To be like, you may not know what this is, but here's a little bit of information, and if you like it, run with it. Don't let anybody tell you can't do it, because there are past people that have done it. You just have to find them and just keep going. Like there's nobody can stop you. Like the only person that can stop you is you, and you telling yourself you can't do it, but you can.
I love it. That's amazing, Sam. Thank you so much for that. I think that's great that you're already walking in your field.
Yeah.
You're already doing it now. So thank you. My change, if you guys are just curious, would be would be three things, and it all has to do with the education system. I really do feel that we teach everything for kids in high school. And this is more like middle school and high school. We teach everything else. We don't teach them finance. We don't teach them how to save. We don't teach them the principles of ensuring how to save, how to what's the word? Invest. We don't teach them those principles of a good credit score and how important it is and how it can affect your life for the rest of your life. We don't teach them hardcore principles in finances. I also think that, religion in schools is a big deal because, it's like you can't choose one religion. If we want to be open and we want to, be respectable to every other religion out there. But I do feel, again, we teach so many different things in school that we should teach our young people, especially in middle school and high school where they need it the most, how to be great parents, whether it's, male, female, or male and female type of parenting. But, regardless of what kind of parent you are, you need to know how to be good parents by teaching them good morals, teaching our young people integrity and having good character. That transcends what race you are, whether you're a homosexual, whether you are, whatever your sexual preferences are, whether you are lonely, whether you are not lonely, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter your race, your creed, your background. So those are the things that I would love to see change in our educational system, because we teach them all this other shenanigans. I would love to see them change that. How can I affect it? I started thinking about doing a petition and having it out there. But with everything else, so somebody could volunteer to do the petition for me, I will sign it. But I just feel for the future, just to teach our young people these things, which are awesome. I put it in there. I want you guys just to remember, if you guys can come up, for you listeners that are listening to episode 2, if you come up with an acronym for the word change, a really cool, fun, exciting acronym that really represents Be the Change, and you guys want to send us the acronym for the word change, you could possibly be featured in our episode 3 coming in October, at the end of October. So if you want us to, if you just want to send us, write it in the chat, or you can send us a message on Instagram, YouTube, or Facebook, an acronym for the word change. And we would love to have you on our next episode, or even just mention your name if you're camera shy. So finally, as we're rounding the roundtable up tonight, I wanted to go around the room and finally just talk about how we can, each one of us, give some tips and some insight to those listening, or where they can start in affecting change in their community. For me, I'm going to take what Vanny said. So I love what she said. She said, create your change where you are. And I'm going to take that from you, Vanny. Sorry, I just took it. I couldn't come up with a better one, but I just took that. So my tip to everybody who's listening here tonight is be the change where you are, whether you're in school, whether you're a stay-at-home mom, whether you are a 7-6-figure revenue generating woman or man, whether it doesn't matter, you're man or woman. Be the change where you are. See something that needs to be changed and just do it and bring positivity into the world. Who wants to go next? I'm going to pick on Iris.
Okay. A good tip that I have for being a change that we want to see is, it goes alongside with what I wanted to do with mindset, is treating each other the way you want to be treated. Because honestly, again, it starts with you. And in order to do that, you have to set yourself, along with what Anissa was saying, was your self-worth. You have to see yourself as worthy enough to be treated in a way that, you're not garbage. You're somebody. You believe you are valued in a way that none other can really see it, unless you see that for yourself. And until you treat yourself that way, or see yourself in that light, then you're going to be able to project that onto others, no matter where you're at. So make sure you're treating each other the way you want to be treated, and that's with love and understanding and everything like that.
All right, Iris, pick the next person.
Let's go with Emily.
I completely agree with Iris and Kenzie. One thing that I think would definitely affect change in every environment is to be positive, just like Kenzie said, and show love. There's so much chaos going on, so much hurt, so much violence, so much pain. The best way to fight all of that, be positive, show others the love that you want to be, the love that you want to be shown, just like Iris said. Show love, give somebody a compliment, put some good energy in the world when there's only bad energy surrounding. Am I calling on the next person?
Yes.
I call on Annie.
Of course you did. I would say a tip that I have is don't be discouraged if you are trying to implement change, whether it's in your household or if it's in your society, your community, whatever it is. Don't be discouraged. Change doesn't happen overnight. It does take time. And I'm pretty sure we're referencing Mother Teresa a lot. Like, I'm pretty sure she didn't know the caliber of what she was doing at the time would be to this effect that she's being mentioned today on this episode of For Unity TV. But she didn't give up. She didn't waver. She didn't let what everybody else was saying knock her down. She just kept to her vision and what she had in mind. So it applies to today too. Don't just because you're not seeing the change or the amount of change that you are trying to make, don't let that discourage you because the change will come. You just have to keep on the right path. You just have to keep pushing and you just have to keep doing what you have to do. So that's my bit of advice is don't give up, just keep pushing. And especially in today's world, we feel like we need to, we talked about this, like we need to let everyone know that we are trying to change something, but you don't have to. It has to start in your heart. It has to start in your mind. So don't broadcast it all over the place. Just you keep it to yourself and your inner circle and do what you set out to do.
That's great. I think that's an amazing point. I think when you look at Mother Teresa, using her just as an example, you know how many times she probably felt discouraged? You know how many times? I mean, she's in a foreign land, India, where she did most of her work. But I think that's so profound, Annie. I think it's something that keeps coming to me is the fact that she didn't do it for glory.
Right.
She did it out of a heart of pure, unadulterated love. And I think that's what separates people who want to create change, and do it for the right reasons. If you want to create change for the right reasons, you even every time you get discouraged, you just keep pushing yourself and saying, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. When you're doing it for your own glory and for like the media and the lights and the cameras, then when something happens, you get discouraged. I've learned it the hard way. So I love that. Great point, Annie. So who's the next victim?
My next victim would be Peggy. Portia.
So basically what you guys said too, I'd like to add to it, just talking about it, talking with your inner circle, like no one can read your mind. So if you can't do it alone, you gotta, recruit people just like we did with the Love-a-thon. Kenise, you started with Annie, you started with Deline, and then you started with Annie and Sam M, and now we have this whole team built. And when we were reaching out to people said no. Some people said, wow, I love this. And they were so, encouraged, and they were so devoted to helping us. Like just getting the word out there, getting people just as passionate as you are about a certain like change and topic is really important because you can't do it alone, so it's important that you bring people in who want to do it for the right reasons. So yeah.
Amazing. That's wonderful.
My next person will be Alicia.
I agree with everything that everybody is saying, and I want to add to it also encouragement. We have to encourage one another, especially for young girls, parents. Encourage your kids that they can be whatever they set their mind to. Like Kenise was encouraging Avia, and in this time and age, being a color kid, it's hard. You just have to encourage parents, encourage your kids, you can be anything you set your mind to. I will support you. You can do anything that you want to, and you can be a difference, make a difference, be a change.
Okay. You
Yeah.
want to pick somebody?
Oh, I picked Sam M.
Yeah, I think I'm the last one. But my piece of advice would be, change is uncomfortable, and it will be uncomfortable. And I think that's just something you need to remember. Like, if you are comfortable in your position, you're not changing. Like, if you want to make yourself better, you are going to be uncomfortable, but you shouldn't let it pull you away from it. You should be thinking, I'm in the right step.
Yeah.
Like, if this was something I was comfortable with, then I'm not improving myself. I'm not improving my society. I'm not improving the people around me. Like, when you'll be doing something, you will fear, like, people are going to judge me. People are going to think something about me. They're going to see me this way, like, oh, she thinks she's better than everybody. But it's just you wanting to make the world better one step at a time. And it will be uncomfortable, and it may be a bit lonely, or it may be a bit hurtful, but you will be changing something like greater than you probably even realize at the moment.
That's great. I don't think Vanny went.
Oh, sorry.
Alrighty, so I've been listening to you guys, and honestly, I have such hope for our future.
Amen.
I have such hope
I
for
love
the
it.
present, and I have such hope for our future.
I want to cry.
Because I totally grew up in a time when, yes, girls were not seen as valuable as our male counterparts. I was also in a time when our value was dependent on what we could produce in certain way aspects, or what we wouldn't produce in certain aspects. When Annie was talking about plus sizes, it really brought me to a place that I felt like, oh, I have a testimony. I have chosen to change my plus size. And before I go there, I want to say this: who determined that that was a plus size? Who made that up, that there was this size, then there was this size? Well, that's neither here nor there, because whatever they said was wrong. Anyhow, I have seen where I know what is healthy versus not healthy. Now, as much as I want to jump on a bandwagon and say, you know what, society has put out there that this is how women should look, I agree with that. The society has created that, but whose society but us? We've allowed ourselves to buy into whomever started this notion, and we've totally taken it. And some of us have taken it one directional and gone off the edge, and some take it in another direction and gone off that edge. There's no medium. The medium is health. That's how we're going to change this society that deems us as plus sizes, and plus sizes is not good sizes. We need to become healthier us, so we can be around for our children, so we can be around for our families, so that we can live a healthy and wonderful life. I looked at, as Emily was talking, and, she wants to pursue law. And I thought of Meg Nocero in our Love-a-thon in July 2020, when we had that. She quoted another lawyer, a very famous lawyer, but he was not famous for law. He stated that, be the change that you wish to see in the world. We have to be the change that we wish to see in this world. And that was Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi was a colored man in all sense of the word. He was Indian. He went and got his education under an English regime. And he came back to India, and he came back with a notion that all men were created equal, including his people. And he fought for that. And guess how he fought? He fought by taking what he had learned, not to the courthouse, but he did it in his house. He did it stripped down naked, took off the suit that represented his degree, and he chose to walk the path that he wanted others to walk. And by doing that, he caused the whole nation to gain their independence. And I am here to say that every one of us, whether it be with our plus size, beautiful bodies, whether it be understanding our immigration statuses, whether it be teaching us how to be more sustainable people and not throw away so much and be so, costed out there, or valuing ourselves, our own self, valuing the fact that I love my hair, the texture, the length, the color, whatever it is, knowing that my value is what I say it is and not what you think it is. Any of this can happen. All of this can happen. All of this is happening with every one of us here on this round table, because we're choosing to make that change. And that's where it starts. First, the pebble in our hands. What pebble do you have in your hand? What thing can you do today? What way can you change your thought process today that will cause that ripple effect for generations to come? We have it within our hands. Our hands are filled with pebbles. Now we need to throw them out.
That's right. That's a great summary of everything that we said, Vanny. So thank you for that. Ladies, you guys were amazing. I have, like, look, you guys think I'm joking. I have 2 pages of notes. Like, you guys can't see my notes because of my background, but 2 pages of notes, because I think this is amazing stuff that could be put in a book. Honestly, it can be put in a book. It's so great.
I've got a whole computer of notes.
Oh my God. It's just, you guys are just amazing. And when we initially talked about this topic, I didn't think it was going to morph into something so profound. Like, I feel so excited to go out and grab as many pebbles and just be like, let me just start throwing them in, meaning not actual pebbles, but, going and starting something and recruiting people. And, I love the tips. And just to reiterate, hold on, wrong one. Yeah. So, showing love, valuing yourself, self-worth, being positive, be the change in your own world. Don't be discouraged. Don't give up. Start in your heart and in your mind. Recruit people, because you can't do this alone. Encourage one another. Change is uncomfortable, and be the change you wish to see in this world. And it could start in your home. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Roundtable, thank you guys so much for joining tonight on our second episode, the spinoff from the One Voice, One Heart, One Nation Under God Love-a-thon. And as we continue to push through this in October, you guys will see us again, October 25th, the last Sunday in October, 6 p.m. right here on One Voice, One Heart, FORUNITY TV. Follow us here on this Facebook page. Share the video with some of the young people in your life, your nieces, your nephews, your sons, your daughters that want to make a change. Share on your Facebook page, like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. All of them is called FORUNITY TV, and also save the date for 10/25/20 at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then finally, if you come up with an acronym for the word change, we would love to hear your amazing acronym, and maybe also be featured in our episode 3. So tonight, from me and all of these amazing women here on the FORUNITY TV episode 2, Be the Change. Thanks for joining us. We love you guys so much. Have a wonderful evening. See you guys next month. Bye.
Bye.